This is 72 scariest animals. In this episode, you will find a squid. And with the spiky body, biggest squid on Earth, the deadliest squid to ever incredibly ugly fish, the creepy bee-mouthed angler, by far the shark with a humongous nose. This is your 72 scariest animals.
Be threatened by human activities far away from the part of the ocean in which they live. The Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute has released this video of the vampire squid to emphasize a report that raises a red flag about the Earth's oceans. Vampire Toothus infernalis is a type of living fossil, meaning that it has seen very little change since it first appeared, before dinosaurs, about 300 million years ago. The Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute's Dr. Bruce Robeson, who authored the report published in Conservation Biology, narrates the Institute's video.
Vampire Toothus has very large eyes because it lives about half a mile deep in the ocean, where the light is very dim. We took these pictures from a deep-diving robotic submarine, and you can see the reflection of our lights in that beautiful blue eye.
The vampire squid has 8 long arms and a long curly strand that serves as a sensory filament. It has a unique ability to react when it is startled. It can curl its web and arms around the rest of its body, turning sort of inside out. This change in appearance may help it avoid being attacked by predators. These cephalopods, they're technically not squids, live in the deep ocean with millions of other species, some of which are little known and on which little study has been done. Robeson says human activities threaten all of these.
They are threatened by ocean warming, decreasing oxygen, pollution, overfishing, industrialization, and dozens of other changes taking place in the deep. We have a responsibility to learn all we can about these amazing animals and to protect them from the greatest danger to life in the deep, the human species.
Robeson's focus is on the ocean's deep pelagic zone, which extend down from about 330 feet below the surface to just above the deep seafloor, up to 6 miles below the surface. While the seafloor has had significant study, he points out little exploration has been done on this water above the deep floor. This zone is home to species eaten by fish that humans eat, such as tuna and salmon. Many whales, turtles, and giant squid also rely on this zone for their food. Even though all of this is out of sight, any upset in the balance here can ultimately have a devastating effect on what humans have come to expect from the oceans, a place that provides food for millions of people.
Something mysterious is stirring in the deep waters off the coast of Northern California. Fishermen at Pillar Point Harbor in Half Moon Bay have been reporting bizarre sightings of huge alien creatures, large packs of invading cannibalistic predators, seemingly from another world. Nobody knows exactly where they came from, what they're doing here, or how long they'll stay. But one thing Captain Tom Matouche knows is how to hunt them down.
Every single time when it hits the deck, you see the angler back away as if it's some kind of an alien that's about to come after them.
We head out to sea on the 53-foot charter fishing boat Huli Cat in pursuit of Diciticus gigas, what Mexican fishermen call Diablos Rojos, or red devils. They're better known as Humboldt squid or jumbo squid.
Here's a fish that's mean, a fish that's strong, a fish that can take a bite out of you. You got a fish that can wrap tentacles around you and just scratch and claw you quite a bit. We've seen the beaks. You just don't want to get near those beaks, this big old parrot-like beak that you absolutely have to avoid unless you want a serious cut and slash in your skin.
Joining the expedition is Professor William Gilley of Stanford University's Hopkins Marine Station in Pacific Grove. Professor Gilley has been studying squid for 30 years.
So this squid only thinks about two things. One is eating and one is reproducing. Even though they have big brains, I don't think they spend a lot of time philosophizing.
Today, he's hitched a ride to find out more about these mysterious creatures.
We don't know a whole lot about the behavior of this squid in water under natural circumstances. They spend most of the day down at 1,000-foot sort of level, actively swimming, actively moving in this low oxygen zone there, probably feeding.
The natural range of the Humboldt squid is the warmer equatorial waters off South America, but they have visited northern waters in the past.
In the mid-1930s, they were particularly abundant for a few years, and they interfered with fisheries. They were seen up and down the California coastline. Originally, it was a bit of a novelty, and people would go out squid fishing, but they quickly wore out their welcome. There's a great quote from a California fish and game biologist from the time who said, "Squid fishing is a hilarious sport for a few minutes, but it becomes quickly tiresome day after day."
After their mysterious arrival in the 30s, the jumbo squid disappeared for more than 60 years. They turned up again in 1997 when a warm El Nino current curved northward. But then, as the current went away, so did the squid. Then, in 2002, the jumbo squid returned yet again, this time in the millions. And their range expansion now reaches as far north as Alaska.
So the causes of the range expansion aren't really well understood, but there's a couple likely suspects, and climate is the most likely suspect. The problem is we don't exactly know why, what the mechanism is for that.
I think they have come because of a climate change, but not the climate change that most people think about. Most people think about the surface of the water warming, global warming, things like that. I think the climate change that is relevant to the squid is one that's happening 1,000 feet below the surface of the ocean.
Jumbo squid are known to be mesopelagic animals, which means they live between 600 and 3,000 feet below the surface. But unlike most deep water creatures, jumbo squid move up and down the water column, often rising to the surface to feed. This isn't your little 1-foot market squid. Jumbo squid are voracious
I don't
predators.
know about the colossal squid, but one thing I know, it is very, very scary.
Type blobfish into your browser, and you'll probably find this picture. A pink gelatinous fish with an incredibly sad frown. It's an amazing picture, and when the world saw it, we began to wonder, what is this unusual creature? Hi, welcome to Songs for Unusual Creatures. I'm your host, Michael Hurst. Today, the incredible true story of the blobfish. And we'll also perform some music for the blobfish with the help of some friends. But back to that amazing picture. As we all know, in this day and age, a photograph this spectacular has a pretty good chance of getting spread all across the internet. And that's exactly what happened with the blobfish. So much so that one website, known as the Ugly Animal Preservation Society, decided to announce that the blobfish had won the ugliest animal vote. After the ugliest animal endorsement, a few prominent media outlets picked up the story and spread the news all across the world. Suddenly, the blobfish was a star. There was its grumpy frown on CNN, Fox News, the BBC, the LA Times. You name it, and there was an article about how the blobfish was the ugliest animal on the planet. But here's the problem with this story. The blobfish looks quite different in its natural habitat. The blobfish lives in waters off the coast of Tasmania and Australia at great depths, up to 2,500 feet below the surface. Here, the water pressure is quite extreme. Fortunately for the blobfish, it's made of a jelly-like substance which is less dense than water, and it can comfortably float just above the ocean floor. So in the water, it looks more like this, instead of this. When it came time to compose a song for the blobfish, I thought of two instruments dueling.
Century. At first glance, the goblin shark looks quite similar to many common shark species. However, this primitive shark has a very strange feature. It has the ability to protrude its jaw to the end of its snout in order to ambush prey such as fish, squid, and crustaceans. The shark's long and prominent blade-like snout is covered with highly sensitive organs that can detect electrical currents in order to locate living things. This shark is a rare find and can be found at depths from 40 to 1,200 meters. Sightings are normally due to fishing bycatch. Most specimens have been retrieved off the coast of Japan and New Zealand. However, they are also widely distributed off coasts around the world. The goblin shark can grow over 3.8 meters. The actual size at birth is unknown, as the smallest specimen ever found was already over a meter. Their slender, fang-like teeth are meant for grabbing, and they swallow their prey whole. This shark is thought to be an ambush predator, as it is rather slow-moving with small eyes. The shark's lineage extends back to around 112 million years. For more marine facts, click the subscribe button.
Goblin shark coming in at 5th place. No match for the rest. So that leaves the colossal squid winning. Vampire squid in 2. Anglerfish in 3. Humboldt squid in 4. Goblin shark in 5. And blobfish in last. The colossal squid is being added to the final.